is the 25th day of June 2023, the last Sunday of this month. Welcome to TV47 Weekend. The topics just for you. Tonight, as the 2022-2023 financial year approaches its end on June 30th, President William Ruto has announced that all arrears owed to counties have been disbursed.
Leo, nimelipa pesa ya counties yote.
Also tonight, Kenya Kwanza politicians have escalated the criticism on the mainstream media, claiming that it runs the risk of becoming irrelevant.
Shida ya media ni kwa sababu mulikuwa na candidate wenu Raila Amolo Odinga.
Plus, the inclusion of the controversial clause in the Finance Bill 2023, which proposed an 8% increase in value-added tax VAT on petroleum products, is anticipated to generate increased interest among electric mobility users in the country.
Kwa electric nayo hapo mi siwezi support.
Tonight, we speak to stakeholders in the industry. Welcome to the bulletin. Roda Nyamai is on the sign language docket. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyerungeta. You can always talk to us on our socials below your screens. Now, as the 2022-2023 financial year comes to an end on the 30th of June, President William Ruto has announced that all arrears owed to counties have been disbursed. The head of state now says it is time for governors to carry on with their development projects after receiving a total of 110 billion shillings last week. Mike Kagwongo opens our bulletin tonight.
A few days ago, governors, through the Council of Governors Finance Chair Fernandez Baraz, urged the central government to release the over 64 billion shillings development funds owed to governors. Now the county bosses can breathe a sigh of relief after President William Ruto announced the disbursement of 110 billion shillings to all the 47 counties.
This week we have paid all the counties. Sasa muko na pesa kwa accounts zenu, almost 110 billion muko nae. Sasa endeleeni sasa kupanga mambo ya wananchi.
Speaking after attending a church service at Ildamat Stadium in Kajiado County, President William Ruto said despite delayed disbursement occasioned by lack of funds, he objected to foreign borrowing in order to fund the counties.
I have paid. This week, I have paid all the money. Sio kama tunaelewana. There is no single shilling county in a dying national government. Last year, walivuka na madeni ya counties. This year, nimesema sivuki na deni ya mtu yeyote.
However, Baraza has asked the National Treasury to extend the closure period of the Integrated Financial Management System, IFMIS, to July 15th, as this will allow the counties time to adequately utilize the funds before the 2022-2023 financial year ends.
Kupitia kwa National Treasury, ndio wameleta pesa kwa all the 47 counties. And what we are asking for through the National Treasury, please extend the closure of IFMIS. Hakuna haja kuletea magawanas pesa leo alafu after 1 week you want us to spend that money before it even reaches the account.
The president has been asking governors to maximize revenue collection in a bid to enhance financial independence as they wait on the disbursement of the exchequer.
Translation.
Kisii Governor Simba Arati says, like his colleagues, he aims to collect revenue that will enable him lend to the national government at a special interest rate.
If we realize that there is discipline on how we are dealing with the issues with monies, the public monies, we'll be there. We can equally even lend the national government. If, like myself, I'm looking forward to see a day that I realize enough until I'm asked, Simba, can you give us your money and we'll pay you, but with interest again.
The county government of Nairobi under Governor Johnson Sakaja is among the counties that stopped in revenue collection, collecting 673 million shillings this financial year, way above the amount collected over the same period in the last financial year. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
And meanwhile, Kenya Kwanza politicians intensify their attacks on mainstream media, warning that it risks being irrelevant if it doesn't stop antagonizing the ruling government. Led by leader of majority in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, legislators accused Kenyan media houses of bias and allegedly distorting facts regarding the government's agenda, especially the recently passed Finance Bill 2023. Our very own Chichi Josephine tells us more.
Media attack by a section of the Kenya Kwanza legislators are so far intensified, with media houses being accused of being biased and distorting facts regarding the current government. Led by a leader of majority in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, more than 30 legislators have accused the media of reporting distorted information about the Finance Bill 2023.
My simple advice to our media houses: today you may imagine you are fighting with the government of the Republic of Kenya, but you are fighting with change. In another 5 years, mainstream media will be made very irrelevant if you do not stick to being objective and informing Kenyans the truth.
Maneno hii ya watu ya media waseme ile wanataka kusema na sisi tuseme ile tunataka kusema, kwa sababu siku nyingi wamekuwa wakisema peke yao. Sasa na sisi tuseme maneno yetu, wao waseme yao na sisi tuseme maneno yetu.
In his statement, Ichung'wah claimed that the media was not initially opposed to the bill until revelations about a betting tax increment were made.
Even our media will have to understand that we are all in one boat, that we cannot afford to sink this ship. If the ship called Kenya sinks, we all sink with it.
In the bill that was passed by members of parliament, the government increased the tax on betting and gaming stakes from 7.5% to 12.5% effective July 1st. The legislator spoke during a Thanksgiving service for Ayala Member of Parliament Maina Karobia at the ACK Cathedral in Thika, Kiambu County, where they claimed that the media was part of the opposition's campaign of disinformation and selling propaganda.
Wakati wetu hatukuwa na opinion. Journalists, we did not have our own opinion. We were just reporting what was said and what was said. Lakini kwa sasa waandishi wa habari wameanza kuwa na opinion. Sasa wewe ukikuwa na opinion, ni nini sasa wewe utafanya mimi na mimi nisikuwe na opinion? Sisi tutaendelea kuongea because we are also media owners. Niko Facebook.
They at the same time took issue with the opposition for plotting to resume mass protests, claiming that the intention was to hoodwink Kenyans as they agitate for a handshake through backdoor means.
We are struggling to rebuild an economy that you destroyed yourselves in Azimio during the handshake regime.
Hiyo ni hypocrisy, na nitataka kusema siku ya leo ni hypocrisy in the highest order.
Shida ya media ni kwa sababu mulikuwa na candidate wenu Raila Amolo Odinga, na yeye aliposhindwa hamjakubali.
Among the politicians present were Area Member of Parliament Alice Ng'ang'a, Dendi Nyoro, John Kiarie Kimani Kuria, George Koimburi, Anne Wamuratha, Edward Muriu, Kanini Kega, CAS Isaac Mwaura, Simon Gikuru, and UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala, among others. Chichi Josephine, TV47.
And the country anticipates a new wave of anti-government protests as opposition leader Raila Odinga prepares to return from a foreign trip and join his coalition partners for a major rally at Nairobi's historic Kamukunji grounds on Tuesday. The urgency to resume protests arises from the collapse of the bipartisan talks aimed at addressing issues such as the high cost of living. Now, the talks fell apart after President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza rejected the opposition's demand to suspend the recruitment of Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC commissioners for 30 days. And as Zainab Mohammed tells us, the reconstitution of the electoral body was a key negotiation point following the disputed August 9th, 2022 election.
While Mr. Odinga was in Poland attending a roundtable with other opposition leaders, President Ruto issued a warning stating that his government would not tolerate violent protests or property destruction. In an interview with France 24 in Paris, President Ruto emphasized that the opposition should abandon any notion of unseating him, highlighting that Kenyans had chosen him to lead the country for the next 5 years. Past street protests, which were temporarily halted for the inter-party talks, often resulted in violent clashes between the police and opposition supporters. In many instances, excessive force was used by the police to disperse demonstrators. Before leaving the country, Mr. Odinga held a press conference and threatened unspecified action if President Ruto pushed through the 2023 finance bill, which the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition deemed punitive due to several tax-related clauses. He called on his supporters to remain vigilant, stating that if Ruto prevailed in the National Assembly, they would regroup and counter him in the wider National Assembly representing all Kenyans. ODM National Chairman John Mbadi and Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi stated that Mr. Odinga would use the Kamukunji rally to announce the next steps for his supporters. In the midst of these developments, Mr. Odinga will also face challenges within his ODM party, as some MPs are seeking a meeting with him upon his return to discuss the effective leadership of the National Assembly. They argue that the party's leadership faltered in the fight against the 2023 finance bill. The meeting is reportedly being organized by a first-term MP from the Nyanza region. The lack of leadership and poor strategy in countering the bill are cited as reasons for the coalition setback. The battle against the bill, described as anti-people by Azimio, was portrayed as a political showdown between President Ruto and Mr. Odinga as they demonstrated their political influence in Parliament.
And on a sad note, in matter security, a Form 3 student who had just took his half-term break from Bakanja Secondary School has lost his life in a suspected Al-Shabaab attack in the villages of Juhudi and Salama in Lamu West constituency, Lamu County. The attack, which occurred on Saturday night, saw 5 people killed and houses torched.
At around 8 p.m. Saturday night, a group of armed men stormed the village of Salama and Juhudi, Lamu West constituency. They tortured and killed 5 people, among them a Form 3 student from Bakanja Secondary School. Armed with machetes, guns and knives, assailants dragged the victims from their houses, tied them with ropes before taking their lives. As the residents explained, the executors were in military regalia, making it so hard for them to be identified. The attackers ordered them to lie down so that they cannot signal their neighbors, thus enabling the group to execute their motives silently.
Wenye kumkata singo walikuwa wanamkata singo. Kijana anawaambia mimi ni mtoto wa shule nimeingia saa hii.
It is not the first time this has happened in this area. January 2022, 6 people were killed and 10 houses torched in a similar attack.
Na hii ni kitu wakinajilundia kila mwaka, kila mwezi. Na tunauliza tutaishi hivi mpaka lini?
The residents are now living in fear after counting losses in both their lives and properties. The residents have now called on the government through the Ministry of Interior to launch investigation and ensure the culprits are brought to book.
Nyumba wamechoma. Hakuna kitu, wanateketeza kila kitu. Kwa hivyo tuko na huzuni. Sasa tumeishi kuishi kulala kwa mirangi, kulala kwa mikorosho. Sasa tena tutarudi tena pale.
Despite the efforts of the government to safeguard its citizens, Lamu County has experienced prolonged security issues, with others even claiming lives of police officers. Jackson Chacha, TV47.
Quite sad and unfortunate events rather in Lamu County. And to matters education, civil society organizations working to promote the right to education in Kenya have come out guns blazing to oppose the new university funding model led by Elimu Bora Working Group. The civil society groups have questioned the legality of the model, saying that it is prone to abuse and manipulation. Andrew Kilemi tells us why.
The new university funding model continues to elicit mixed reaction from different education stakeholders, with civil society organizations now calling on the government to scrap off the system until a proper public participation is conducted.
The model is running already, but then it's not very clear how it was constructed or how it was came up with. So it needs to be recalled and subjected to further discussion and participation by the broader public.
Led by Elimu Bora Working Group, the civil organizations questioned the legality of the model, saying it is discriminatory and is prone to abuse by those responsible to implement it.
Some of the universities and colleges risk closure if they will be unable to attract significant students' admission. The major question is where these suggestions were subjected to public participation and the electric speed with which the new model has been rolled out through the Kenya University and Colleges Central Placement Services. The administration has basically extricated itself from the responsibility of the state to finance education and transferred this responsibility to the poor and overburdened parents.
The organizations have further asked the government to hasten the process of disbursement of allocation of capitation funds to schools for the second term semester to enable school heads run school activities uninterrupted.
Besides, perennial delays in disbursement of capitation and other grants have become the order of things. These have caused unimaginable disruption of education processes. There have been wastage of learning time as most schools have resorted to sending away students frequently to collect school fee balances.
Initially, the government had released an allocation of 24 billion shillings to schools, an allocation which stirred up controversy, with some school principals saying the funds did not reach their schools. Andrin Kilemi, TV 47.
Let's talk about matters party politics. And leaders of UDA party and Kakamega County have supported the return of Seth Panyako to the party after the conflict between him and the leadership of the party. Speaking at the ceremony of registering members in the Shinyalu Parliament area, Chairman Dennis Muhanda said that the aim is to strengthen UDA party in the county and questioned that the efforts to return Seth Panyako to the party succeeded because Panyako had a big contribution to the votes that President William Ruto got from Kakamega County. Secretary Otiende has said that the government is trying to improve national economy because it started to deteriorate during the handshake regime, and congratulated MPs who passed the 2023 finance bill. And members have said that they will support Cleophas Malala as their leader and slam those who want to destroy the party in Kakamega.
Yesterday, I had an opportunity as the chairman of the county to request and to pray our leader, Honorable Seth Panyako, to come back to the party. Seth Panyako, and we are going to have a structural preparatory of preparing of how UDA will be reformed in the entire county. Seth Panyako was the best candidate in Kenya Kwanza. Seth Panyako is the one who gave His Excellency Honorable William Samoei Ruto the most votes in Kakamega County. Seth Panyako, they are friends. I prayed to him that my brother, my friend, you are the one who made Ruto the president. Why run away from when we are now on the presidency?
Nataka kushukuru wabunge wetu wa Kenya Kwanza. Hii juzi mulifanya ile kitu ambaye inatakikana ifanyikane. Mulikuwa bunge mkapitisha finance bill, na tunasema tukirudia, nchi hii itaokoka ikiwa tutatoa ushuru. Mimi naomba wananchi wenzangu wa Kakamega na Kenya mzima tujizatiti kuiunga finance bill, kwa sababu hapo ndipo tutaweza kuokoa hawa watoto wadogo ambao wako hapa chini. They want to inherit a good country, a stable country.
And from Kakamega County to Turkana County, where the governor, Jeremiah Lemurkai, has issued a warning against land grabbers in response to complaints from Lodwar residents. Lemurkai has emphasized the importance of following the proper processes when selling land and advised against arbitrary transactions. Our reporter Kitiomika with more details from Turkana County.
Residents of Turkana have voiced their concern over land fraud and are calling for the government to take action against the culprits.
Wanadanganya wa Turkana yetu kwa sababu hawajui kusoma vizuri, wanauzia mchanga 1,100 ama 50,000. Alafu yeye anakuja anatafuta mtu anamuuzia 1 million.
Hii mashamba yetu ni shamba ya community. So it belong to all community. So ukiuza hii plot, hiyo plot hauna title ya hiyo plot.
Wanauza tu mchanga fua bila kujua madhara wa mchanga baadaye nini, ama badala kujua muhimu wa mchanga nini baadaye.
In light of this, Governor Jeremiah Lemurkai during a Thanksgiving ceremony in Lodwar Town and Kalapata Ward in Turkana South sternly warned land grabbers in the county, assuring that they will face appropriate consequences.
Kama ni kazi ya kujapana na watu wanaita land cartels, watu hawajui 70% of Turkana people are pastoralists. Unasumbuliwa na pesa yako kidogo, kununua land kubwa ya 500, kwa shilingi 100, 200. Turkana County is now the most valuable land in Kenya.
However, Joseph Namwar, the Member of Parliament for Turkana Central, has urged the Turkana community to allocate land specifically for the construction of a school and hospital, while the remainder should be reserved for community use, such as livestock grazing. Governor Lemurkai has announced that President William Ruto has assured the Turkana community that their land will not be seized, while also urging the community to be prepared for upcoming government projects.
Because the president has passion for the people of Turkana County, na anasema tuanze upya process ya kugina mambo ya mafuta na pia mambo ya land.
Lodwar Town has seen an influx of people from various counties in the country attracted by new infrastructure developments and the presence of oil in Lokichar in Turkana South.
Niko Lodwar lakini sina nini? Sina blot. Nimebidi niende mbali ndio nipate blot.
Kitiomika, TV47, Lodwar in Turkana County.
And meanwhile, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has called upon Cabinet Secretary of Roads Kipchumba Murkomen to take firm action and address the alarming rate of accident cases in the country. This plea comes in the wake of a tragic incident where 5 pupils and a bus driver from Ebenezer Academy in Busia County lost their lives in a collision involving a school bus and a truck in the Kaburengu area along the Eldoret-Webuye Highway in Kakamega County. Our reporter Wanji Sostin has filed the following report on this devastating incident.
The Saturday evening accident at Kaburengu area along Eldoret-Webuye Highway in Kakamega County claimed 5 pupils and a school bus driver after colliding with a truck. According to the school teacher Emma Nguruma, who was also on board, the victims were on their way back from Eldoret on a school trip before they encountered the tragic accident.
It was all fun until we came back to a certain place of which sijui vizuri, I don't know the place. I was updating parents on the wall ili wajue how their children are faring on. Suddenly, I just found myself outside. I can't tell what happened.
Nilipofika hapa kulikuwa na lori ambalo lilikuwa tunaweza sema brake failure, ilikuwa inatokea side hiyo mteremko ya Chimoi ambayo mteremko ni sharp. So dereva alipofika hapo kwa ile pambo naiona pale hivyo nyuma, alikuwa anajaribu ku overtake hiyo basi ndogo ilikuwa ibeba wanafunzi. Alipofika hapo ni kama kuna gari ilikuwa inapanda juu akagopa kuihita, akagonga hiyo basi ndogo ambayo ilikuwa wanafunzi kaanguka pale.
Webuye District Hospital nurse in charge Roslyn Makoha says that 11 of the survivors are recuperating from the facility while 4 were referred to Bungoma County Referral Hospital for further attention.
Tukapata wanafunzi karibu 20 ambao walioumia
tukawahudumia the head fractures, chest fractures, head injuries na soft tissue injuries. Kuna ambao 4 walienda Bungoma Referral Hospital. Then the rest we managed to handle them. They are doing well.
In Busia, pupils, parents and teachers led by County Commissioner Kipchumba Ruto and the school head James Ouma are in a somber mood as Red Cross officers take the affected families through counseling.
Right, apologies for that. And to matters health, with cancer disease increasing its edge into the society and leading many of the victims to struggle in getting treatment, a call has been made to the government to enact a law that will help them to get all services by using the National Health Insurance Fund, which often fails to benefit patients due to high cost of medication. Reporter Isaac Fumba is in Trans Nzoia County and has prepared the following report.
Cancer continues to cast a dark shadow over the lives of many Kenyans, acting as a chronic wound that deeply affects individuals and communities. Health insurance is said to be the perfect solution for cancer victims, given the exorbitant cost of cancer treatment in comparison to other illness.
NHIF kweli inatusaidia, lakini tunapofikia upande wa matibabu pia inafika mahali inafika mwisho. Tunaambiwa haiwezi kukava radio. Inabidi sasa kama we mgonjwa, inabidi sasa muongeze pesa ndio mpate hiyo matibabu. Lakini tunashukuru kwa sababu imekuwa ikitusaidia. Ingawaje sasa imekuwa ni expensive, maisha imekuwa so hard, unaona. Kutibu hiyo kansa inabidi uuze kila kitu. Kama hata ni WhatsApp group watu wamechanga paka wamechoka. Mtu ani akionanga una create group anaona ni mashida ya pesa unataka.
Ile NHIF wakati umekuwa unaitumia wanakuambia yako sasa imeisha, pesa zimeisha, sasa inabidi ushughulike tena.
In addition to the financial challenges, cancer has a profound impact on the lives of those affected. It represents a devastating blow affecting not only the physical well-being of individuals, but also their emotional and psychological states.
Saratani ni kama shetani kwa sababu inapoingia ndani ya familia huwa inaingia na inatambarasisha kila mtu na kila kitu kwa boma.
Nyumbani saa zingine inakuwa tatizo kwa familia. Sababu familia huwa inavunjika moyo, wewe mwenyewe pia unavunjika moyo, lakini kitu tumekuwa tukifanya ni kujaribu kuhimizana.
Health Services acknowledgement that women comprise a larger proportion of cancer victims compared to men. This discrepancy is attributed to the fact that women tend to be more proactive in seeking medical attention and undergoing screening, resulting in a higher detection rate.
This population, a large number seem to be women, but not because women have a higher rate of having cancer compared to men per se. It is because of the health-seeking behavior that men have. Women are more likely to seek care when they feel unwell compared to men. Men consider themselves the providers in the community, so it becomes very difficult for them to seek care and to also seek support when they require it because of that belief that they are the ones who are supposed to be the caregivers in the society.
Trans Nzoia County has experienced a significant impact from breast and cervical cancer with more than 400 reported cases. Among the affected areas, Kiminini constituency stand out of having the highest number of reported cases. Isaac Fumba, TV47, Trans Nzoia County.
Mothers, the youth and the young children are poised to receive quality healthcare following the signing of an agreement between Nakuru County Government, the United States Agency for International Development, that is USAID, and Deloitte and Touche Limited to finance reproductive health, maternal health, and malnutrition across the county. Speaking in Nakuru after signing the first government-to-government program, Governor Susan Kihika promised that her administration is keen to fully implement the same to ensure the second phase is automatically granted after the end of the current deal. USAID Kenya and East Africa Acting Missions Director John Kuhn and Director Deloitte Bernadette Wahogo said the success of HIV programming in Nakuru is critical if Kenya is to achieve the vision to end HIV as a public health threat by the year 2027.
I'm gratified that under the USAID Jenga Jamii project, USAID is financing Nakuru County to the tune of 44,093,000 with a view to creating a county-owned, county-led, and county-managed integrated platform for better delivery of HIV, reproductive, maternal, newborn, child, and adolescent health.
And I've been in Kenya for 3 years, and I can honestly say this is one of the most exciting events I've had the opportunity to participate in. And part of that is because this really represents USAID's vision for localization, as Bernadette was talking about. And our view is that health programs are county-led.
Our activities are structured with a purpose to increase use of quality county-led, county-owned, and county-managed health and social services supporting HIV prevention, care and treatment, maternal health, maternal child health, reproductive health, wash and nutrition.
On that note, to take a short break, we'll be right back with more.
For the biggest of guests, from politicians to entertainers to content creators to whichever kind of a person you want to think that you'd want to see on the show, this is the place to be. Dr. Funike tonight.
Each and every Wednesday. My name is DJ Lizney, not your ordinary DJ.
And of course, they call me the Eagle himself. Your host, Dr. Funike, is my name. Of course, every Wednesday at 7:30. See you then. Don't touch.
Make sure to join us.
Tell your landlord as well. Jua unalipia wa parent.
Sikose.
From politics, health, cooking, relationships, and entertainment, join Linda Alela every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. only on Morning Cafe.
Your health is not just about going to the hospital. Your health is about prevention, it's about what you eat, it's about where you live. For this reason, the Body Garage Show exists.
The part of the brain that deals with communication.
Called primary hypertension, which means that we don't find a reason for that.
Join me, Dr. Chepsi, every Thursday, 8 p.m.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Beyond the Limit. We have not even scratched the surface when it comes to knowledge about disability. Beyond the Limit with me, Zainab Mohammed, every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
Minutes past at the top of the hour. You're watching TV 47 Weekend. Welcome back. The Ministry of Health and county governments have been urged to equip health centers in the counties in order to lower the cost of medical services. Senators led by Trans Nzoia Senator Alan Chisang raised the alarm over the number of residents forced to travel across the county borders to seek medical attention. senators have promised to ensure funds allocated to the health dockets and the counties are utilized well.
Hii hospitali yetu ya referral tusaidiane na national government tuweze kuequip ili tuwache kuenda kule Eldoret. Unajua tukiequip hiyo referral hapa inapungua na gharama inapungua, kwa sababu mimi najua hata nyinyi mmechoka kufanya maharambee kupeleka watu wetu Eldoret, Medihill, Nakuru, Nairobi. Si ni kweli? Nimesikia MC wetu amesema mimi ndio napitisha budget. Si ni kweli? Lakini mimi sina allocation hata ya shilingi moja. Na nikipitisha budget nisikie mambo yamefanyika hapa, nisikie mheshimiwa Kefa amesema gavana alikuwa aende pesa usiku kabisa, ninaona kweli ile pesa ambayo nilifikisha imefikia wananchi. Si ni kweli? Na hiyo ndio kazi yangu, inamaanisha senator amefanya kazi yake, amefanya nini? Amemaliza. Ama namna gani?
And parents have been urged by a non-governmental organization dubbed Love Without Reason not to hide the children who are born without, or rather with genetic disorders. Speaking at AR Hospital, Dr. Seth Mathias, the chief executive officer, said that Africa has a high number of children with a cleft lip and palate because there has been no proper awareness to parents. Reporter Rhoda Batiany with the details.
We visited AAR Hospital in Westlands constituency, Nairobi County. Upon arrival, we witnessed nurses and members of Love Without Reason ready to provide their services. Dr. Seth Mathias, CEO of Love Without Reason, expresses concern over the isolation and invisibility faced by thousands of children due to stigma.
There are thousands of children that have not had these surgeries. Countries, in Uganda, in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, we have found that the patients are hidden, they're isolated, nobody knows where they are. And these children live a life of humiliation, a life of shame.
He urges the government to acknowledge the necessity of addressing such issues and partnering with similar organizations to provide treatment for vulnerable families.
That, the governments realize the need for such surgeries and also for expertise. There is, you need to find really high quality surgeons to do the surgery in the best possible way.
Dr. Ken Muma, CEO of AAR Hospital, reveals that out of 1,300 births, one child is born with congenital conditions.
For every 1,300 children that are born, you'll have one child with cleft lip and palate.
Elizabeth Njenga, Director of Love Without Reason, explains the challenges they face in convincing parents that the condition is treatable.
Getting the parent to actually come out and say, my child has this condition, and actually accept to come and get help for it is the first challenge we have. But of course, once you get to them, the other problem is just to educate them on this condition is treatable, and you can get help from Love Without Reason and other institutions.
Numerous parents express relief upon learning about the availability of medical surgeries and bring their children with left clip conditions. Their joy know no bounds as their children undergo successful surgeries.
Unaona mtoto wako na sura nyingine, hata ngumu kutoka nje kucheza na wengine. Haja saa hii amefurahia kumzuri.
Kuwa nahofia sana mtoto wangu vile atakaa akiwa mdogo, na vile nilipata tu hiyo clinic nikafurahia na nikakuja.
Rhoda Batiany, TV 47.
And to a special piece tonight, one of the most controversial clauses in the Finance Bill 2023, the 8% increase in VAT of petroleum products, is expected to see a spike in interest of the electric mobility users in the country. This is according to the Chief Revenue Officer of Basigo, Moses Nderitu. Now, I talked to the e-mobility players and how the future looks like in this sector. Listen in. For the past 20 years, Charles Mwenji has been behind the wheel across the country, playing different routes in a diesel-powered bus. In less than a year now, Mwenji has been handpicked to be part of the game-changing revolution of electric buses. He begins his day as early as 5 a.m. to pick customers from the Central Business District, which is the heart of Nairobi. So how different is the electric bus from the diesel one?
Na vile naona tofauti yake na engine powered vehicles zile za diesel. Hii iko very more efficient. Alafu iko very fast. Dereva hauchoki kama ile, you don't engage gears, kila saa yote una engage gear. Hii ni automatic. So you either you are driving forward or you have stopped, you are in neutral, or you are reversing.
Back in the 2000s, Mwenje might have been driving one of these buses, or maybe this one. Now he has to undergo training to learn the ABCs of electric mobility, something he seems to be really enjoying.
Okay, in training you have to be taught about the mechanism of the electric bus. You see, this is something which deals with the electricity. So anytime you mess up with it, it can cause a calamity. At the end of the day, you are carrying passengers, so you have to be very careful.
No, it's okay.
The Chief Revenue Officer of Basigo Company, Moses Nerito, explains that a bus can take close to 2 hours in the depot for a full charge. After this, the bus is now able to go approximately 200 kilometers per hour. However, most of the drivers prefer to visit the depots for a recharge when the battery of the bus is at 60% or below. According to statistics from the Africa E-Mobility Alliance, Kenya's e-mobility industry has 1,350 registered vehicles on the road, while 35 e-mobility companies are in the country. Following the approval of the new electricity tariff by the Energy, Petroleum and Regulatory Authority, EPRA, effective 1st of April this year, and which introduced a special tax regime for the e-mobility sector, Nerito says they have taken the advantage of the partnership with Kenya Power to charge the buses after 11 p.m. when they return to the depots.
A vehicle like the one behind you is doing on average around 310 kilometers a day, against a battery capacity of 250. So the way we are able to go higher than the battery capacity is by the midday charge. Another thing is, just like your phone, you don't want to deplete your phone completely. If you keep getting your phone running all the way to zero, you deplete your battery faster. But if you keep charging, if you keep your phone always above 10, 15, 20% at any point, then your battery life lasts longer.
The Africa E-Mobility Alliance further shows that if an electric bus was to cover a distance of 100 kilometers, thereby using 124.6 kilowatts, it will spend between 2,472 Kenyan shillings and 3,682 Kenyan shillings, as compared to a bus that has an internal combustion engine covering the same distance while using 34.5 liters of diesel, and is expected to cough up to 6,107 Kenyan shillings. And with a proposed 8% increase in VAT for all petroleum products in the Finance Bill 2023, the Revenue Officer says that there might be a spike in interest in e-mobility.
On the other hand, remember, even within electricity, there's a fuel surcharge. So we don't know, will it affect that fuel surcharge within the electricity cost? We are yet to see the full effect of that 16%. But in a nutshell, yes, it's positive for us because then it levels the playing field, but it's going to be tough for the entire industry.
Basigo houses electric buses operated by Oma Services, Embasava Sacco, and even City Hopper. And the owners of these buses are able to track the performance of their drivers, how much time a bus spends on the road, the performance of each battery and its power levels at all time, and even how much kilowatts a bus has used in a day.
Things charged, 95.9%, all those, and this is the battery behavior.
The use of electric buses, mostly in most roads in Nairobi, has created attention both online and offline. Today, I quench the curiosity I've always had on riding in one of these.
Electric bus
operation so that it's fast and easy.
A Apart from buses, motorcycles also form a large base of the country's public transport sector. And with the rise in fuel prices, a number of boda operators, as commonly referred to, have opted to go for the electric bikes. The riders are able to come and exchange their battery with a fully charged one, which will take up to an hour to be full, this costing the rider less than 150 Kenyan shillings in a distance of 80 kilometers.
And once that is done, they ensure it's secure, locked, then they drive away with a fully charged battery or a rental battery. So
Romhub, a Swedish-Kenyan company, allows the riders to spend a maximum of 5 minutes for the exercise. However, many users have poked holes on the durability of these batteries.
Like every battery put in vehicles, whether it's a motorcycle or bus, it has to go through various tests. You know, we experience flooding, so we have to do immersion tests. Our battery are IP68, so meaning they're dust-proof and waterproof at the same time. The other thing is vibration tests. So you simulate a rough road. Yeah, this has been done with labs abroad.
For a startup company that has over the years boasted of converting Land Cruisers to electric ones, the country sales executive Dennis Okaba tells me that Romhub has since shifted from the conversion because it may take longer to scale the products.
We decided to do new products, yeah, and also because we have had issues with conversions, especially when it comes to different models. Yeah, so for buses, we have very many brands, yeah, and very many sizes. So how do you fit in the same design on each? That means you have to design for each. Yeah, same to small vehicles. I think we have hundreds of brands.
Our border industry is about to experience inclusive transformation through the introduction of more efficient, affordable, and clean vehicles. With this intervention, owning and operating a border will become affordable, secure, and profitable.
Nelson Mandela, a boda operator in Nairobi's Ngong Road, however, faults the idea by President William Ruto to introduce electric motorcycles by September this year.
Mi hapo bado tu kwa electric nayo hapo mi siwezi support. Heri yangata lakini warudishe chini. Hiyo electric mi naona haileti.
All eyes are now fixed on the head of state to see how he will roll out the program and if this will reduce the cost of living. Stanley Nyeringeta, TV47. And in case you're asking, definitely it is worth it on an electric bus. Now, away from that, it was a sad state of affairs in Kipkeriany village, Bureti constituency in Kericho County after a man drowned in river Chemoset. Residents have said that the man known as David Kirui was out grazing his cows in the fields before drowning as he crossed the river on his way back home. The residents are requesting the governor of Kericho to hire some youth in the area and equip them with swimming lessons so as to prevent such sudden disasters from happening again. With operations currently underway to find the missing man's body, residents living beside the river have been advised to remain vigilant so as to prevent a recurrence of such cases.
Hii ni incident ya pili kwa muda wa karibu mwezi moja, less than a month. Tumekuwa na incident kama hii kwa hii mto. Ile kitu yenye tungeomba serikali ni kwamba especially our county government, department ya disaster management, wanafaa wawe wametrain watu wa divers wa kudive, ambapo incident kama hii kihappen, divers wenye wametrainiwa na wamepewa kits kamili na vifaa ya kutosha ya kuingia kwa maji na kuokoa maisha ya watu. Tungetaka county government watusaidie ku-identify, kwa sababu sisi wenyewe tunaweza identify madivers, watu wenye tunajua ni professional swimmers within ourselves, within our community here, na tungetaka at least within a span of 2 kilometers along the river tuwe na divers wa karibu watu 8, so that incident kama hii ikihappen tunajua tunakimbilia wapi na tunaweza okoa maisha within the shortest time possible.
Bado pia wanatafuta, lakini labda ningeweza kuomba serikali kwamba sasa ya kaunti ya Kericho kwamba watafute vifaa vya kutosha na hasa za kisasa ili aweze kutafuta miili za watu kama hiyo kwa siku za uzoni, ndipoza majamaa zao waweze kufarijika haraka, kwa sababu hata sisi sasa